Welcome back to part 2 of this guitar restoration. In part 1 I refretted the neck and fixed the electronics. Today is all about one of the most important steps: leveling, crowning and polishing the frets. I start with a notched straight edge with a built-in light to check if the neck is perfectly straight and the truss rod is adjusted correctly. This is crucial. Leveling frets on a neck that isn't straight just doesn't make any sense. Next, I use a regular straight edge to see where the high frets are. That's the whole reason why we are doing this. The Jessica stainless steel frets, and they are really seriously hard. Now I grab a Sharpie and mark all the fret crowns. This makes it very easy to see where material is being removed and where it isn't. Once everything is marked, it's time to level the frets. I use a 400 grit leveling stone for stainless steel frets, and this works really incredibly well. In my experience, it works even better than sandpaper on beams and better than even files, simply because stainless steel is really tough. After the first pass, you can see a kind of map forming. You immediately see which frets are high and which are low. Usually the higher frets need a bit more work, and that's no problem though, because later we add a slight fall away and everything evens out. Now I use a fret rocker to check the remaining high spots and mark them again with a Sharpie. This helps me dial everything in perfectly during the next leveling pass. Back to the 400 grit stone. Slow, even strokes, no extra pressure. That way material is removed evenly across the neck. Here I switch to an older leveling stone. I like this one even more than the new one because it's smaller, easier to handle and has 400 grit on all sides. Now the final check with a fret rocker again, and the frets are perfectly level now. Before I use the crowning file to reshape the frets back into a round profile, I mark them again with a Sharpie. And the more precise you are here, the better the final result will be. That thin line on the top of the fret is exactly what we want to see. It means the frets are still level while being nicely rounded. This is the last fret being crowned, and in a second you will see the result. Even, clean and consistent. I clean the file with a brush, by the way, highly recommended. Now it's time for sanding. I start with a 1000 grit Abralone pad and gradually work my way up. After that I use micromesh sticks starting at 1500, focusing first on the side of the frets. I go through all the grids. That process alone took well over an hour, so it's not all shown here. Then I switch to flat micromesh pads and sand the tops of the frets all the way up to 12,000 grids. At this point, the frets already look almost polished. You could stop here, reinstall the neck and start playing, but I take it a step further and polish the frets to a true mirror finish. I often hear people say don't use a Dremel, do everything by hand. That's totally fine for me, everyone has their own method. Personally, I've never had any issues with a Dremel. Yes, heat can lose glue if you're careless, but even with a soldering iron, my frets are hard to remove. And when used carefully, a Dremel creates some heat, but nowhere near enough to cause problems, at least in my experience. Try it yourself and let me know what you think about in the comments. A little bit fretboard care. Now I clean the fretboard and remove all the polishing residue. And after that I treat the fretboard with a Carnauba wax-based conditioner combined with oils and beeswax. This is my current favorite fretboard product, much better than standard fretboard oils. Most of those are just mineral oils and they look good but don't really nourish the wood. This wax actually protects the fretboard and lasts for a long time. Cleaning the fretboard up. And here's the final result. Mirror-like frets, which is exactly why I love stainless steel. They just look and feel next level. The fretboard looks brand new again. All the wear marks are gone and I couldn't be happier. Enjoy the view. And that's it for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode and thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.